Hi, we're out on the range today, so please bear with gunfire you hear in the background. Now, today, all I'm going to do is talk, and I'm going to talk about some frequently asked questions I get. The problem, though, is that one of the subjects I have to talk about is something I have great disdain for talking about, and that is myself. But I have gotten so many questions recently that finally we're in a position where I have to. So, here we go. My name's Paul Harrell, and I have a YouTube channel where we discuss and demonstrate various types of ammunition and guns and shooting. The channel's been in existence for a few years, but it's only in the last year or so that we've really gotten serious about trying to put out a presentation every week, trying to upgrade our equipment, not just in firearms and ammo, but in camera equipment. And what we're trying to do is get education, edification, and useful information out to citizens. If not useful, at least interesting. Well, over the last year or so, we've had a significant amount of growth, and to everybody who's been part of that, thank you. But with that growth has come a lot of questions. And probably the most frequent question I get asked is, who am I to tell you anything about guns? Well, the reality is that for over a year, the crew has been after me to make some kind of self-aggrandizing presentation that showcases all my accolades, and that is not what we're about. That is not what we're trying to accomplish. What we're trying to do is get education, edification, and useful information out to citizens. But I've been asked this so much recently, I'm finally forced into the position that I have to address it. So let me, as concisely as I can, tell you who I am as it relates to guns and shooting. And it goes like this. I spent 20 years in the military. In my initial enlistment, I was in the active duty Marine Corps for 4 years. I had an infantry MOS, I was an 0311, but I spent a couple of years as a combat marksmanship instructor at the Marine Corps Security Forces School. So as such, I had to have training and education beyond what normal Marines were getting at that time. So in addition to basic training, infantry training school, and so on, I also went to a couple of citizen schools, such as the Ray Chapman Academy of Practical Shooting, and a course at Gunsight. I also went to the Navy's CRF school, that's a SWAT school, and I got sent to a Marine Corps school called the Formal Schools Instructor Course, where you learn to create class outlines and select tasks for training and create a curriculum and teach classes. And I know that's actually been very useful. Anyway, when I got out of the Marine Corps, I went into the reserve component of the military, specifically the Oregon Army National Guard. Again, I had an infantry MOS, I was in a light infantry company, and I went to some additional training such as Air Assault School, Master Fitness Trainer School, Advanced NCO School, and another course at Gunsight. I also had the opportunity to participate in military shooting competitions. I won 6 state championships for shooting, also a Western Regional Championship, a National Championship, and an International Pistol Shooting Championship. Not only that, I've competed in a lot of competitions at just gun clubs and things like that. I've done a lot of rimfire stuff, a lot of black powder stuff. So I've done quite a bit of competition shooting. Now, right about this part where someone says I should have brought out my big tote box full of all the trophies and plaques and no, I'm not going to dig that crap out of the basement, but I did bring one of the smaller boxes. Suffice it to say, I've been in a few shooting competitions. Well, right about this point is when someone always asks about my participation in the recent war. Yes, I'm a war veteran. Yes, I did a year in the Middle East. I very rarely talk about it, simply because anything I did over there was profoundly insignificant. There's nothing worth talking about. Okay, let's get past that. Well, when I hit my 20 years in the military, I retired, and since then I've done some shooting competition and some shooting instruction. These days all I do is just occasional tutoring for individuals or small groups. And that's pretty much the size of it, as far as my life as it pertains to shooting. But there is one more thing I need to add to that. You will occasionally hear me mention that I've been in a couple of citizen-involved shootings, and I have. I do not like talking about them. Again, they're not really worth talking about. I only mention them when they're pertinent to illustrate points I'm trying to make, and neither of them were in any way worthy of making a network movie of the week. However, Of all the people who call themselves trainers or instructors, who cater to the needs of citizens, I am among the extreme few who's actually been in a citizen-involved shooting, and it does give me a unique perspective on that. So, that's about the size of it, of who I am as it pertains to shooting. But there are a couple of frequently asked questions that I want to address. One of those is, you'll occasionally hear me use medical terminology and talk about a clinic. These days I work part-time at a dental clinic. I'm a certified dental assistant. There's also the one that comes up a lot about hearing protection and eye protection. Yes, I wear earplugs with every shot I take. This is an earplug case. Also, as far as eye protection goes, I don't really think it's necessary when you're just shooting paper targets. Also, I don't like to wear it on camera because I'm so dependent on facial expressions to get points across. But when I'm shooting things like the steel clangers or the knockdown plates or the soda bottles or the meat target, anything where there's a chance of something splattering back, yes, I do wear eye protection. I quite often take it off before I get back on camera. And you'll see a couple of the earlier vids where I've neglected to, but these days, yes, I wear eye protection on anything like that. Okay, now there's one other thing I want to address, and that is people ask about how to support the channel, and this is another subject that I have disdain for talking about. But the very short version is, we're now on Patreon, and so anybody that wants to support the channel, it'd be greatly appreciated and very helpful. But you know what's also really helpful? Is if you click the like button. Obviously don't click that if you don't like what you're seeing, but if you like the content, click the like button, subscribe, and make commentary on the videos, even if it's just to say hi there. I'm not in any way qualified to explain how that helps, but I knew that it does help a great deal. So, if you've sat through all of this without turning this presentation off, thank you very much, and thanks for listening to the short version of who I am.